Oh man, guys, the dynamic here for crypto is changing. We're seeing Bitcoin bounce here on the day, up 2.3%, and Bitcoin is now forming a very new structure. What do I mean by that? I'm going to break that down and a lot more in this video. If you want to trade with me and the community, make sure you jump into our Telegram group below. Just took beautiful profits here on fetch.ai. That was a beautiful trade here that gave us around 12% spot at just our first take profit. We also took the trade on Lido as well, another 10% spot at the first take profit. And again, TP2 and TP3 still in play. So I'm trading altcoins actively. I know a lot of people talk as if they are trading, but they're not actively trading. I've shared every single one of my trades over the last 8 months. You can see exactly how I'm trading this market. When I hit a stop loss, when I'm profitable, I have nothing to hide. You guys can see it in the Telegram group. Now, Bitcoin here, positive day. But what is going on? There is a new daddy in town. Yes, we are following Nvidia. You may not believe this, but look at the dump here over the last couple of days here on Nvidia. That coincides beautifully with Bitcoin struggling as well. Nvidia has become the new flag bearer in town. Now, of course, we know Nvidia has just gone from strength to strength in the traditional space, right? Of course, we're seeing that it's now the staple of the Nasdaq. It's one of the biggest companies in the Nasdaq setup. And so naturally, if crypto was correlated to the Nasdaq, and whether Nasdaq is now positive or negative depends on Nvidia, that means now Nvidia has become a huge indicator of whether Bitcoin and your altcoins are going to pump. So you may not have any interest in Nvidia, but it's important that you understand where is it at in the cycle and how much can it move. And right now what we're seeing here is some good news in that Nvidia is coming into its daily EMA ribbon. So hopefully if Nvidia has had a big enough pullback and is ready to move to the upside, that can spell a good couple of days for crypto, because Nvidia's pulled back 15% in a couple of days, which is a lot for a big stock like that, right? To drop 15% in a few days. So don't be surprised to see Nvidia kind of want to bounce here. And if it does bounce here, like we're seeing today with a nice 4% candle, then you can see green in the traditional markets as well, which is exactly what we're seeing here with Bitcoin. We're seeing Bitcoin up 2.5%, and you're seeing altcoins move to in the green as well, which is very interesting. The other thing I wanted to share with you, which is very important, is look where we are here on Bitcoin. Where did this bounce happen? You saw in yesterday's dump that you started seeing people buy the dip, and they're buying the dip exactly at this teal colored line here, which happens to be our 200 exponential moving average. So this is now acting like support. If we go back historically, right, and took a look at the last time we managed to break above this and go in a big move, Bitcoin's price was as low as 27,000. So from 27,000, you went on a phenomenal move up towards just shy of 74,000. A really big move, in other words, here by Bitcoin once it managed to secure back above its 200 exponential moving average, right? Over 740% move here. And so the question now is, can Bitcoin do the same? Can it use this as a springboard to bounce and use this reset in RSI, which is now in oversold territory, which is very interesting as well, right? RSI has now fallen below the green level here, to now say, hang on, let's bounce. Let's start moving here to the forward side, just like we did historically, using the 200 exponential moving average as support. So don't rule Bitcoin out right now. I know everybody's very fearful, and rightly so. There's a pullback here. Do not count your chickens before they hatch. Be prepared, right? Remember, hold up. Do you want to learn how to trade? Then you need to jump into our Telegram community. Link is in the description. In our Telegram community, I share my altcoins. I share how I do my trade setups, how I do my stop losses and take profit, so you could learn to become a profitable trader. Check it out, link is in the description. Market makers want to move this market in the direction you least expect. That's very important. If you look yesterday, we saw the highest day of selling pressure we have seen in the last 2 months, so in the last 60 days. More so than that, fear and greed index is now officially notched into fearful. It's at 30. This is the lowest we've seen in a year and a half, 18 months. So we've now finally got enough of a pullback here on Bitcoin, and enough people worried that Bitcoin's going to fall to 50 and then 40 and 30 and fear mongering, that now you can start to see that the shorts are piling on. And And guess what happens when the shorts pile on? Well, there starts to be asymmetry in where the leverage lies. Take a look at this. A few days ago, when I was making videos saying, guys, this pullback needs to happen, there was a lot of leverage sat below Bitcoin, above 62.5. And so market makers use this opportunity to push the price down and grab all this liquidity in this area. Everybody who's thinking that this is gonna, that we're gonna move up, they go ahead and they grab those overzealous longs by pushing them to the downside and liquidating their stops. Well, now the market's changed. Take a look at this now. Take a look at the updated chart now, which is this. This price has now moved to the downside. Everybody's got liquidated there. And now guess what? All the big money is now sat above it. Yes, we could see $14 billion of leverage wiped out, of shorts, right? Shorts with their stop losses wiped out if Bitcoin just returned back to $72,000. So you think about this if you're a market maker. What's your job as a market maker? To hunt stops, right? You're gonna basically, all these big guys in the background, they're just hunting these stop losses. They're seeing, oh look, the market's really greedy there. Everybody's going long. Let's liquidate their stop losses below. Let's move the price downwards and liquidate all their stop losses. Oh look, everybody thinks the price is gonna go down. Let's move the price up and liquidate all their stop losses. Easy work for them. They just move the market a couple of percent and all the stop losses cascade and they take all your leveraged money. And so when you look at this and we start analyzing, well, hang on a second. Now that they've kind of zapped all of that energy here to the downside, they've done that already. The asymmetry is that all the money's to the upside now. Okay, so don't be surprised to see that the market wants to rebound and grab some liquidity from above as well. Now, just like I've said over the last kind of couple of weeks or so, market needed this pullback. There's nothing wrong with this pullback whatsoever. I mean, from the high there, you're talking about a pullback of 20%. Nothing crazy in the crypto space, right? We expect 80%. We expect 90%. We expect these pullbacks. 20% here on a Bitcoin, which hit all-time high and then drops 20%. Not the end of the world. I mean, if you go back into previous cycles, you guys know Bitcoin ran up to 20,000+ in this cycle here, right? Take a look at this. It ran all the way up to 20,000, came all the way back down to 3 or 4, right? 3, 4 in this range, and then it continued upwards to hit 64,000. So you just need to be spending time in the market. And so this pullback in the longevity of things, once we eventually continue on our next cycle, is going to be a small blip. I mean, take a look at this chart here. Bitcoin is still early in its 4-year cycle. These are the previous 4-year cycles. That was the 2021, and this is the 2016 ones. You have these ups and downs. I mean, look at 2020 here. Of course, this was to do with the pandemic as well, but a big pull down here, right? Look at 2016 cycle as well. You have these pullbacks. You have these ugly moments, these kind of down periods where everybody would have been fearful and the fear and greed index would have been negative. But guess what? When you zoom out long enough, it's just blips. And the same is going to happen for this thing here. This is what you're crying about. You're crying about this when crypto over many years has done this. And so if you smooth out the lines and understand what you're working with, that helps you to hold conviction. So right now, am I panicked? Absolutely not. We're expecting this pullback. We spoke about it a couple of weeks ago when we failed to get the higher high, and now we're in nibbling mode, right? And that's all I'm doing right now. If Bitcoin wants to continue fall, great, nibble. Right? I'm going to nibble in heavier and heavier chunks the lower we go. If we don't and we want to bounce, great. I've done a couple of nibbles already and off we go. I'm ready for this to move back to the upside. Easy peasy, simple. We don't need to overthink it, right? Very, very simple in terms of psychology. Do the opposite of what markets are doing. Like I just explained to you with the leverage. Markets will automatically set themselves up to get liquidated. That's how retail traders trade. And you guys can be a step ahead of that by not FOMOing in. And so if you just DCA in spot trades, you're going to be in a good place. If you are trading, you can trade spot as well. You don't have to trade leverage if you're not experienced, right? I show you exactly how to do that with just spot, just long trades, and still generate over 211% in a month. You guys could be doing the same. Jump into our Telegram group and learn how to do it. All these people that say, oh, you have to take out 100x leverage, you have to short and do all this and make it really complicated, have 100 different indicators. Guys, trading isn't complicated, and investing is even easier. Wait for bad days, you buy, you have conviction, and you see it out, right? Simple. Why do we overcomplicate it? Hopefully you guys found this video useful. If you like this type of content, smash all the likes. Do not forget to subscribe, and I'll see you in the next one.